Good morning. Welcome to Jedediah's Corner. My name is Jedediah, and it's March 29th. It's about 1:26 p.m. on the east coast of the United States of America, right near New York City, in the heart of the evil empire. So, on the Useful Idiots podcast, they do a segment called Isn't That Weird? And the one that they highlighted today, I did a quick search for the audio. They played the audio and or a video of this, but I couldn't find it. I'll find it eventually. I'll post it up. But anyway, so this is what happened. There was a pro-Palestinian protest, and anti-Palestinian protesters, the pro-Israeli side, started chanting, "What's your credit score?" at the people that were protesting, the pro-Palestinian protesters. What's your credit score? Over and over and over again. First of all, it's kind of anti-Semitic, to tell you the truth, because that's an anti-Semitic trope that all Jews are rich and they all have money, and that's not true. I've met Jewish people that are relatively poor, but anyways, it's also kind of a bougie, elitist thing to say to other people, as if all the people protesting on behalf of the Palestinians, I guess because they're really poor and dispossessed, that we must also be poor and dispossessed. But that's not true. There's a lot of people from all different walks of life that abhor the violence that Israel is committing, abhor the genocide that Israel has already committed on the Palestinian people. Go look up the definition of genocide. It fits perfectly. Intentionally, they've made statements to what they were going to do, and they did it. They flattened Gaza. 70% of it is destroyed. They pushed everybody into Rafah. Now they're going to go in there with armed troops, even while the UN ordered a ceasefire. But then, of course, the U.S. steps in and says, oh, it's not binding. So I'm still digging into what that means. I still can't find the official text. On Wikipedia, they put the official text link as a link to like a JBL or something, some Jewish newspaper. And it's not the official text. It's just like a slanted version of it that only highlights the parts of it that make it, unenforceable, I guess. But regardless, it doesn't change anything. Israel is still using starvation as a weapon of war. Lindsey Graham, why don't you take a look at the Grey Zone documentary? I doubt you will, but I posted it all over your X page, so have fun with that. But anyways, yeah, so what's your credit score? I mean, my God. Look, I am, and I've said this online many times, and I'm not ashamed of it. In the past, I was a drug addict. I've been in prison. I've spent a total of like 4 years in prison for, never a violent offense, never convicted of a felony. But anyways, I've paid off my probation. I'm done with all that. It's been about 10 years of that. I got married. I don't have any children yet, but I've been living a responsible, respectable life for about 10 years. And my credit score got fucked up. You know why I got fucked up? Because somebody rammed into me with their car. I went down a street in New Jersey with no stop signs on it, which is kind of stupid. They should have four-way stops. But anyways, I went through this street, and the person on my left had a stop sign, and they didn't obey it, and they rammed right into me. 2 fucking herniated discs in my back, and an impinged nerve. So I've been fighting this since October, and I lost my job, and I'm struggling to pay my bills, me and my wife, and my credit score is in the toilet. But it's not because of something that I did. It's because somebody hit me with a fucking car. So, listen, you elitist assholes, you privileged people whose mommies and daddies take care of them. Anytime they're in trouble, they get bailed out. They live a pampered, easy life. So it's not poor people necessarily who are protesting against the action in Israel, as if it matters, because we're anti-war, we're anti-death, we're anti-genocide, we're anti-starvation of 1.5 million people. Yeah, that's what we're against. If you're Jewish, that's fine. Be Jewish, whatever. If you call yourself a Zionist, maybe look into what the word Zionist means. Because, and also look at what the Zionist entity has done. The Zionist entity is one of the most evil forces in this world. I'll say that again. The Zionist entity is one of the most evil forces in this world. And just look through all my videos if you want me to prove that to you. And I'll keep proving that point over and over and over again. So, what's your credit score? Go fuck yourself. Seriously, go fuck yourself. It just reveals what they think of people. They can't, in their minds, they can't even imagine why anyone would support the Palestinians, because in their minds, the Palestinians are less than animals, or they are just human animals. They have been so dehumanized by propaganda that has been pushed for decades on mostly the United States and the UK. And they take billions of dollars from the US every year. I think it was like 30 billion or something like that last year. And then they funneled weapons to them for this genocide the entire time. So, what's your credit score doesn't actually mean anything. It just reveals these people as being snobs, stuck up, privileged snobs who have no sense of humanity, no sense of connection to their humanity or the other people's humanity around the globe. We're not really all that different. It doesn't matter if our skin color is white or dark. It doesn't matter if you have more melanin in your body. That doesn't change who you are, your character, what your actions and what you do. That's based off of nature, nurture, and you. And we all make choices. We all make choices. Israel, after October 7th, was faced with a choice. How do we respond to this? They had a bunch of hostages, and they kept saying that's their top priority. But they created a situation that is so chaotic, so disastrous. They committed such murderous actions. They didn't send their special forces in to root out Hamas. They haven't really even gone into the tunnels. There's no proof of that even. They're not even fighting the military brigades that are in the north, waiting for them where they said the battle was supposed to be. No, they're just following around the civilians. They only fight defenseless people. They only push people around that are weaker than them, or people they think are weaker than them, because they have such a racist ideology. They thought before October 7th that they had completely pacified all of the Palestinians and that they weren't even capable of resistance anymore. That also betrays a stuck-up, prudish, elitist mindset. How can you think you've oppressed people for decades that they will ever, no matter what you do to them, ever lose their desire for their freedom? It is the most fundamental things of any human being, the most fundamental principles. It is what we all search for. We all want to be free. We all want to find peace. We all want to have peace of mind. And you know what? The Palestinians have never been allowed to have that. And it has gotten worse and worse and worse as Israel has perfected this techno-feudalism. They've perfected this urban warfare, just like the Nazis did with the concentration camps and their death camps. They're following the path of Hitler. Think about that. Jewish people, or people who call themselves Jews in Israel, are committing actions that mirror the Holocaust that was done to them. This is a cycle of abuse where the abused becomes the abuser, where they're so full of fear, either that or just religious zealotry and bigotry or racism towards an entire people. If you are racist towards African Americans, you get called out in a second. If you're racist towards, used to be if you're racist towards Muslims, you get called out in a second. What was everybody saying in the 2022 elections in the United States? We're against racism, xenophobia, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What happened to the xenophobia? What happened to the Islamophobia? No, they're rolling everything back to right after 9/11, where they're harassing people, harassing Muslims who post on social media against the occupation, against the genocide. They're sending FBI agents to their houses. We've seen this before. They are repeating the cycle. We have to break it. Somewhere we have to break it. We have to throw them off. We have to break it. October 7th was unexpected. That threw a wrench in the gears. But these gears are well oiled and they are very, very well maintained. So all we can do is try to throw as much as we can in there to try to clog this murderous machine and get it to grind to a screeching halt. And then comes what happened in South Africa. Reconciliation, the end of apartheid, and the coming together of the two people who have been kept apart, demonizing each other to realize that they're all human beings and the war criminals have to be prosecuted.